All right, welcome back to the channel, everybody. We're gonna do something a little different today. My son's got a Ford Fusion, needs some brakes put on it. So the brakes are grinding real bad on the back. We're gonna jack it up, take off tires, have a look at it. Probably have to run down to O'Reilly's, get some parts, maybe get some rotors turned. I guess I should have blocked that out so nobody could see that. Let me get the car jacked up, put it on some jack stands, and we'll get started on this thing. Okay, so we got the car up on jack stands. Let's go ahead and get this tilted down for you there so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe move it. Hopefully I don't get in the way of that. Let's see. How does it look? Yeah, we look all right. Let's get this wheel off and have a look. Ooh. That's not good. That's what I was afraid of. Ford puts these chrome covers on lug nuts and they swell up and they go bad, and well, it doesn't work out well for anybody. Maybe, holy moly. Oh Lord. Let's try some other ones here. All right, well, let me set the emergency brake on it, see if I can't get these broke loose. I didn't think they would be that hard to take off. Man. Oh, wow. Yep, he's gonna need new lug nuts. Yeah, I think every one of these is ruined. Good Lord. You know, it's bad when you gotta hammer the lug on. This is the one we started on, and it's bad, bad, bad. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's really tore up. Yeah, they put this chrome thing on the lug nut for some reason. I mean, it looks good, I guess, but man. You only get about 4 or 5 times of putting these on or off, and you got to buy new ones. And they're probably a couple $100 a piece. I mean, a set. Gonna be a nice hot one out here today. Yeah. Whoops, I didn't get that one. All right, I'm gonna hop over to the other side. Go ahead and break those loose. Okay, now we're back. We'll pull this wheel off. Just gonna roll it over here and sit it on the ground. And now we need more tools. Looks like got a dust cap back here on this retaining bolt. Yeah, keep the stuff out of it. Even got nice little part numbers on it. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't open this caliper just a little bit. Let's use the rotor. There we go. That'll give us enough to get it off. I believe that's a T45. Let's find out. That's a T45. Certainly is a T45. Looks like I got a little wire in the way right here. We're gonna move it down. Let's get us a ratchet. Fair enough. All right. Now we should pop this here retaining spring out. You might need a screwdriver instead of this big old pry bar. Yeah, let me get a flathead screwdriver. Okay. Should be able to slip this right in here. Pop that out. There we go. Hang on to it because you don't want to go flying away. And that should release us to be able to pull the caliper right off. There goes our pads. Now, with these electronic brakes, this is what actually puts in for your emergency brake. Put it on. You don't have to have a special tool or anything on these. I know, like my Mustang and stuff in the 90s, you had to have a special tool, turns it to get back in. These you can just use your tool, the regular tool or C-clamp or whatever, and push the piston back in. We're gonna set it back here, balance it right there for a minute. And the pads they're not in the best of shape, but they ain't completely gone. For the grinding he said he was having, I was expecting some really, really bad stuff. But hey. And then to pull the caliper off, looks like we got a couple of 17 millimeter on the back here. Holds the bracket on. Yeah. Let me get a 17. Look like a 17. No, she's not a 17. This looks like a 15. Let's try a 15 instead. Ooh, they're tight. You know, whew. Somebody did not want those to come off. We're gonna get a bigger tool. Now, let's see if this will fit in there. Oh, yeah. Okay. And I'm fairly certain those probably got some Loctite on them. Oh yeah, good old blue Loctite. We will Loctite those back on when we put it back together again. That had to have been noisy. All right, now we can pull off our rotor. There we go. She's pretty thin. I don't know if that's stock or not, but we'll take it to the O'Reilly's, see if they can't turn it down. If they can't turn it, then we'll have to buy some new ones. They're not, I mean, it looks like it's got some grooves in it, but it's not that bad. Not that bad at all. We'll set this over here out of the way. And whew, it's hot. It's real hot, folks. Let me see if I can unscrew this. I need like a quick connect. And I'll show you what we got going on down in here. This bracket was, it's hard to do with one hand. It was actually mounted right in there. You got two 15 millimeter bolts, one here, one here. That takes that off, and then your caliper was sitting in there with the two T45s right there. And oops, sorry, I've just got it balancing right here. Should be okay. We will tear the other side apart right quick. Head down to O'Reilly's. See if they got somebody to turn them. Hopefully they do. Like I say, they're not real bad. So I guess even it's not recommended, but you could put it back on there. It's not, like I say, it's really, really not bad at all. So maybe the other side was what's giving him the grinding noise, but the pads, let me get the pads right quick. We'll come back over here. The pads, I mean, you can see they're not, I mean, they're worn down, yeah, but they're not like metal to metal or anything. So I don't know. We'll get some new pads, see if we can't get these rotors turned out right quick, and we'll come back and get back on it. So we'll be back in just a minute. All right, we're back from O'Reilly's. We got some new parts. Looked at turning the rotors down, and they were like 0.7 of a millimeter from being too low per the factory specs. So we went ahead and got some new rotors, new pads and everything. I did tear apart the driver's side. This is what, that sun is horrible. This is what happened. I don't know what, it appears to me like probably one of his other brothers drove the car and left the e-brake on. It's kind of weird how it's not uneven, but it's really worn here more than here. But that's what happened right there. It went all the way to the metal, tore up the rotor real bad. That's why we couldn't turn them. We got new pads. Comes with the springs. We're gonna open this up, check and make sure we got the right stuff. Get that over there so it doesn't blow away. That certainly looks like it's the right style there. And this is that's the front or outside. This is the inside. So yeah, we gotta pop both those open. Yep. Whoop. We got the right stuff. Let's set those aside. We'll put those back in there. You can tell I didn't prep none of this because I would have had this open. Should have done that. And I wouldn't have to try to do it one-handed. There we go. Looky there, pretty rotors. All right, that looks good. All right, let me get you set up on the tripod over here. I don't know how much racket that makes on the camera. Get it turned on. Let's see if I can't get this tilted down. There we go. All right, let me get my little stool over here. Oh, darn it. I did not get new lug nuts. I'm gonna wish I had done that. Let's start with a new rotor. Get it out of the package. Okay. All right, let's put the new rotor on. Okay. Got all the way down here. Didn't bring the Loctite. Gotta get the Loctite. All right. Blue Loctite. In case you didn't know, the way easy for you to say, the way Loctite actually works, and what I'm doing is like trying to get it all the way around the threads here, is it actually hardens up in the absence of air. So when you screw it in there and it takes all the air out of it, that's when it hardens up. That's why you buy a bottle of Loctite or any other thread locker, not just Loctite. When you buy a bottle that's only like half full, you feel like you're getting ripped off. Well, that's why, is because they want to make sure there's air in there so that it doesn't harden up in the bottle. Fun fact, I don't know why I know that, I just do. Let's get this put back in. And I'm hoping this audio is a lot better. I got a new lapel mic on, and wireless microphone, so something I'm trying out. Should work pretty good. I tested it before I started shooting video with it, and it seemed like it worked fine. Of course, I was just holding it in my hand walking around. I set up my camera in my office and then went strolling around outside. It actually still picked up, so. Wow. That's the downside of living next to a highway. Okay, got those on there. Now our T45. Now these you don't want to Loctite on because you want them to float. You don't want anything getting in there, make that caliper not float around. That's what makes your pads wear a whole lot more even. I don't have any brake clean, but they'll be all right. Let me get something and let's move this piston back. I personally use a quick grip clamp. They do have soft jaws on them. I'll show you. They got these soft jaws on them. I use them quite a bit for a lot of things, really. Anything you don't want really messed up bad. And this has that little motor on the back of it. So we want to make sure we get this right centered up pretty decently. Okay, get that hanging there. I did forget to take the cap off the master cylinder, so let me go do that right quick. Okay, got the cap off the master cylinder. That way, whenever you squeeze the line, it doesn't vapor lock your master cylinder. And this joker does not want to play nice. Forward. All right, sorry about that, guys. GoPro overheating. Told you it was hot out here. Georgia ain't no joke. Let me see if we can get set back up here. I did get to figure out what was going on. Are we dangled down enough? Yeah. I had to research it. Apparently you have to go in and put the car in maintenance mode, in the brake maintenance mode, and that'll allow you to push the pistons right back in. I did not know that. A little bit of research. But put the clamp on it, and just like normal, piston goes right on back. Just like that, that easy. Got the new pads put in already. They just sit there like that. Rotate the caliper back around, push your guide pins back and line them up. Take the ratchet, T45, and get these started in. Okay, click, all down to the proper torque. Click. Okay. Find our little dust covers here, or debris covers. Put them in there. Okay. Got a brand new retaining spring. Get it put in there. I like to use a little pry bar once you get it in this front hole. Screwdriver works also. Just gotta pry it back around that ear. There it goes. Push it all back. And that's that. Now all I gotta do is do the other side. Put the wheels back on it, and then we'll spin the car around, get up front, jack it up. We're gonna check the front ones. I don't suspect they're gonna be bad. What I suspect is somebody had the e-brake on and drove it, and I don't know if these electronic e-brakes, if they'll release automatically. I wouldn't think they would, because that'd be kind of the pointless to have it. But that's my suspicion, is somebody drove the car with the e-brake on and just wore these back pads slap out. So let me get these tires and wheels put back on. We'll turn the car around, get the front end in the air, and we'll see what it has, see what it looks like on the front end. We'll catch y'all back in a minute. All right, we're back. We got the car flipped around. Took the front end apart, front tires off of it. Pulled the pads out. Pretty much everything's the same thing. A little bigger bolts and whatnot on the front. Pads ain't totally, well, the inside pads ain't totally worn out. The outside, or the outside pads are gone. They're pretty bad off. I checked the caliper, or the rotors. They're over here in the back of the truck. They're not horrible. They feel pretty smooth, actually. The guys at O'Reilly's, like I said, we mic'd out the rear ones, and they were like 0.7 millimeters above the minimum spec. So that's new rotors on that, new pads. We're gonna pull this up there, or pull it up there. It's hot, I can't think. We're gonna run up to O'Reilly's right quick, take the rotors up there, see if they can't turn them. I guess I could mic them out and look it up, but it's just a mile or two up the road. We'll go up there, see if they can be turned. If they can, we'll get them to turn those down. Get some new pads, and we got to get new lug nuts. I forgot to get lug nuts when I went up there last time. Unfortunately, he needs 20 new lug nuts all the way around. They're worn out. I really wish Ford wouldn't use those chrome caps. They're pretty, but man, you can get a stainless steel lug, or just a pretty polished up lug, do just as good, and you won't have to worry about that chrome messing up on you. Let me jump in the truck, run up to O'Reilly's, see if we can't turn these rotors down, get some new pads for the front, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes. And we're off to O'Reilly's. Hopefully I don't get caught and get in trouble for operating an electronic device while operating a motor vehicle. Need like a little windshield mount or something like that, I guess. They make little suction cups for these things? Probably. least the GoPro won't overheat in the air conditioning. Man, I'm glad this thing's got air conditioning. According to the little thermometer in the F-Turd Hunter here, it is 95 degrees outside today in Georgia. I wonder what the humidity is, because it rained 2 days ago. And it is normally 100% humidity around here. No matter how long I live in Georgia, I never get used to that the humidity here. Just, whew. I guess when you grow up in Oklahoma with zero humidity and like 10% humidity when it's pouring down rain. Here we are in the downtown of Metropolis Gray. Get over here to the O'Reilly's. See if they can't turn these rotors out for me. Nope, we know somebody working today too. We know most of these guys up here anyway. Come here all of the time. It's like the second home for us. Let's get the... Alright, I'm here at O'Reilly's, so let me pause the video because I don't know if they'll want to be on camera or not. We'll take these things in, see if we can't get them turned. We'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, we're back from O'Reilly's right quick. We started already. Forgot to get the GoPro out. But we got some new rotors put on. Got our new pads sitting here. Fixing to spritz it down with some brake clean. Just a little bit, you know, to clean it up. Not used to having a camera in my hand. But let's get this cleaned off. Supposed to be a big deal, I guess. Not really. You think about it. And brakes get hot enough, that oil's going to burn off, even just after a few minutes. So, anyway, let's see if we can't get this put on. Kind of seriously doubt I'll be able to do it with one hand. So let me let's see if I can find my tripod right quick. There we go. Screw it on. Wobbly, 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 wobbly. Okay, get that pointed down. Maybe we can see what's going on here. Can we see you? Here, let's get this down here a little closer. There we go. Now we can get right in there on it. Yeah. Now I can use two hands. Make sure we don't have the hose twisted around. I did compress the pistons back. So, make sure you get the guide pins pushed out of the way. Okay. Get those started in. I used the socket to help me turn it with my hand. Once we can get that started. A lot easier said than done. Couple of turns on that one. Down here. There we go. And click. Click. Okay. Now, we got this little retaining clip to go on here, which is quite the interesting little setup, because you kind of have to squeeze it, but it's got to be just right. Okay, see how, I don't know if you can see that. That's got to be on the other side of that. That makes it a real pain in the butt. So, we got to get implements out here. Maybe. And I'm just spitballing this one here. Let's see. Tap that in, tap that in. Voila! She's back on. While you're in here, you might as well check and make sure all your wires and lines and hoses and theses and thises and that's and thingamabobbers are all fine. Go ahead and check the CV boots. Steering knuckles, ball joints. Just a quick glance over. Make sure everything looks good. That looks awesome. Now, move some stuff out of the way here, and now I'm going to have to back the tripod up just a little bit. Roll over here and get the tire. Get that put up there. Now, let me go get some new lug nuts. Brand spankety new lug nuts. They only come 4 in a package. You know that? I'd have thought the vast majority of cars on the road nowadays was like a 5 lug pattern. I know most of the new Ford, like the F-150s and stuff, I believe they're like a 6 or an 8 lug now. We're gonna have to get the right socket too, because that's not gonna work. What's that? Yeah. Let's find us a socket. 13/16, imagine that. But yeah, they only sell 4 of them, so we'll get these started. Won't be able to torque them down because this wheel is just going to spin in the air. So we'll just snug them down a little bit. And yeah, I know we're missing one. Like I said, they only come with 4 in a pack. So, we got that one together. Now we'll move over to the other side and repeat the process. Rinse and repeat, you know. So I guess I'll pause the video. Let me throw this back together again. We'll get all 4 tires put back on it, and then we got to take it out of brake maintenance mode. And then we'll test drive it. So I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, for everybody that was hollering at me at the beginning of the video, hey, you gotta put it in brake maintenance mode, you moron. Did a little research, I figured that out. Now I'm gonna show you how to do it. What you gotta do is you get in the car. Let me tilt down. You'll have to turn the ignition on, push the gas pedal, and then push down on your parking brake. With it all that held, I'm gonna see if I can hold the tripod. You turn the ignition back off, back on, and wait. And you hear the calipers retract in the back, and you go into brake maintenance mode right there. Then you can just turn the key off. You're in maintenance mode. You can actually take and use a clamp just like I did, push them back in, just like a normal caliper would from, you know, the 80s, 70s and 80s, like they should be. Now, to take it back out of maintenance mode, it's pretty much the same thing. You got to turn the ignition on, push the gas pedal, and then lift on your parking brake. Count 5 seconds, 2, 3, 4, 5. Turn the ignition off. Now keep all of it held at the same time, and then back on. And you'll hear the calipers in the back, you know, go back to where they're in contact. And you'll see, of course, I got low prior tire pressure and they want you to save battery, but you'll see that it's out of maintenance mode. Let me say yes and yes. So now we're out of maintenance mode. The brake's not on. You should be good to go. You do need to start the car and push the brakes before you put it in gear. Pump them front calipers back up, the rear ones as well. That way they're in contact with the rotor. They're not clamping the rotor, but they're in contact with the rotor. That way, when you go to push the brake, it doesn't go to the floor and you run through a stop line and kill a busload of kids. No, I'm kidding, don't do that. But what we'll do now is, since I got it out of maintenance mode, we're gonna go ahead and start the car. Oh, air conditioning, it's great. We got tire pressure problems. We're gonna check the tires here in just a second. And whoa, I don't know if you can see that. Oh, nice tilt. But yeah, the pedal went all the way to the floor. And just 3 pumps and I'm already hard as a rock. Okay, so now we're gonna stick it in reverse. Yep, it holds. Let it roll back just a little bit. Yep. So we got good brakes. Put it in park. I believe I still have a chalk under there. I didn't want it rolling forward. My driveway is a little bit of a hill towards the house. I don't know why. So I got a chalk back here, and look at there. Almost crushed it. And what we'll do is we're gonna take this for a little bit of a test drive. I do want to put it in drive before I go anywhere. Make sure we're, oh yeah, we're good. Okay, now let me see if I can get this steering wheel down. There we go. Roll up some windows. And we are gonna go take a little test drive, see if we can get the oil off of these brakes. I sprayed them down with brake clean real good, wiped them down. That doesn't mean a whole lot. We're gonna see if we can't warm them up a little bit. Yep. It wants me to put my seatbelt on. Let me see if I can prop this thing up, get this off here. Set that right there. Seatbelt on, safety first, boys and girls. All right. So, seems to be running good. Don't believe he's ever had any real problems with this thing. It had a water leak on it. that baffled us big time. Took it to a sure enough mechanic buddy of mine, and he looked at it 3 times and couldn't find it. And then finally took it back to him, and it was hidden back behind something. I don't know, but once he found it, it was fairly easy fix. Yeah. Oh yeah. Brakes are looking good. I guess we'll just drive over to back to the O'Reilly's. Like I say, it's only a couple miles up the road. It's a pretty good little car for a little 4-cylinder. Got a turbocharged 4-cylinder in this thing. He's got a cracked windshield he really needs to have replaced. It looks like it's all the way across the windshield now. Oh yeah, she stops real good. The air conditioner works real good, I can tell you that. Goodness. After being out there working on this thing for the last couple of hours. Oh yeah. Kind of think maybe we should have torqued them tires a little better than what we did. Tell you what we're going to do. We're just going to turn right around. Turn around, head back to the house. Just want to make sure it had good brakes. I did not torque these lug nuts to the max like they're supposed to be. I just shot them on with my little impact gun, which I don't know, them little Milwaukee 18-volt impacts, they pack a pretty good little punch. So we'll get it back to the house, get it back in the driveway, and we'll look up the torque spec on it, torque them to what they're supposed to be. And then he can have his car. I believe he's got to go to work tonight. He works in the healthcare industry, so he has probably a 12 or an 18-hour shift coming up, and he works a midnight shift and does pretty good at it. But he called me and said, "Pop, them back tires, they sound like they're growling." I said, "Well, when's it growl? All the time or when you do something?" He says, "Every time I push the brake pedal, it growls at me." Yeah, we probably ought to replace them brake pads. It wasn't too bad of a deal, really. I mean, trying to film it or video it, there's not really film anymore. Try to video it and do everything at the same time. Plus, it's, almost 100 degrees. And I don't have a shop built yet. So sitting out there letting the GoPro get hot, it's shutting down on me every 4 or 5 minutes, seems like. Tough to get things done in a hurry, but I think this will work real fine. Like I say, I'm gonna get these lug nuts torqued down and get his keys back to him so he can go to work tonight. And like I say, that's how you change brakes on a 2013 Ford Fusion. So I guess I'm gonna torque these down and get the keys back to him. So guess that's gonna be it for this video. But hey, remember, if you ain't doing something, you ain't doing nothing.